You know, life has been crazy for these last couple of years. And yet God has been doing some amazing things that both scare me and excite me. About a year ago, I was at a camp speaking in Indiana, at Quaker Haven Camp. And at that camp, I got to spend some time with my family, took my whole family down. We spent some time in a cabin, and I got to speak to 9th and 10th graders. And that week I took vacation from work and went and did what I had to do, and it was amazing. And I remember getting to the end of the week. It was the last night. It was probably 11 o'clock at night, and I was walking back to my cabin to reunite with my family, and I said, God, this was sweet. I said, this is everything that I just could ever want, you know? And God said, well, then go do it. And I was so excited because I thought, God finally gave me the green light to go do something. You know, I've been waiting for probably about a year and just listening and waiting for God and just waiting for God. And He finally said, go. And so for the next 7 months, 8 months, I started preparing. I got some business cards made, you know, and I kind of started getting some ideas on what I could do. And it was about, probably April that my wife, we were on our way to go grab something to eat with some friends of ours, and my wife looks at me and she goes, Scott, don't you have like a list of things that you are on your wish list for speaking? I'm like, you know, it'd been such a long time, and I said, you know, I don't know, dude. I'm not sure what's on that list. You know, I'm not really sure. And she looks at me and she goes, well, you know, isn't there a computer? I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to get a computer, you know, to be able to take with me and do some things. And I just started adding on and adding on. And I said, but Ty, we don't have the money for that. She goes, well, I was thinking. And she came up with a way that maybe I could kind of kick this thing off. And it just got me excited and thinking all over about it again. Because with me, it's out of sight, out of mind. And when it's not right in front of me, it's hard for me to be able to see and be able to think about. And so she got me excited and kind of thinking about it and kind of dreaming about it again and realizing that that's what God was calling me to do. In the first weekend of May, I went to a retreat for men. And at this retreat, I was sitting in the back, and the guy was up front speaking, and of course I was in the back kind of pacing back and forth and listening, but kind of get some energy off while my ADHD kind of kicked in, and I'm pacing back and forth and talking and talking to God and listening to God, and I went and sat back by the wall. And I sat on the wall and just kind of bowed my head, and I remember saying, okay, God, what's the deal? What's going on? And He says, I want you to quit your job. And I'm like, I'm sorry, God, what was that? He said, I want you to quit your job at the end of June. And I'm like, sweet, I get to quit my job. God, I have a family, you know. We've got 2 kids and a wife, and I have to feed them. They have to eat. God, I don't know how I can do this. There's no way I can do it. And I said, God, that's only 2 months away. He goes, I know. But God, I can't do that in 2 months. I know. I'm going to do it. And I said, okay. And I remember going out and talking to my wife and calling her on the phone and kind of telling her what was going on. And she was excited, a little nervous, but we were both excited about what God was doing. And within 2 months, I quit my job. And it's been an interesting ride, actually, since then. I'm nervous in this whole adventure right here. I'm nervous for the fact that I've never done this before. I've never been in a place where I've completely depended upon God with everything that I have, including my money. I've never been in a place where I've given everything to God that I have and said, you are in control. You see, that's where I'm at today. Today I'm walking on water. I'm walking on water in the fact that when Peter said, hey, Jesus, if it's you, let me come. Jesus said, come. And without thinking about it anymore, without debating on whether it was going to work or not, Peter just jumped out of the boat. He jumped out as fast as he could. And he landed on the water and he just started walking. I think he's dancing, having a great time. Because see, that's who Peter was. Once he put his mind to something, once God gave him an idea, he will go through with it. You see, that's where I'm at. God told me to quit my job. God told me to do some speaking. He told me to do some video stuff, and that's where I'm at today. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow. Don't know how I'm going to pay my rent next month. But what I can tell you is I'm following what God has told me to do. And that is so much more freeing than anything I've ever tried to take control of.